जोर से बोलो।
Is my screen visible to all?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Vaishali. I'm presenting a PPT presentation on India instrument of export promotion. My group and I have prepared some information on this topic, instrument of export promotion. So we have covered following content in this topic, which are export assistance and promotion measures, EPCG scheme, import facilities, duty exemption scheme, duty drawbacks. These are the points which we have covered in this. So first of all, I would start from what is export. First, we have to know that what is export, the meaning of export. So an export in international trade is a goods and service produced in one country that is sold in another country. Whatever goods and services we are using, or whatever goods we are selling or purchasing from another country, that is known as export. The seller of such goods and services is known as exporter, and the buyer, foreign buyer, is an importer. The person who is selling the good or services is known exporter in this, and the person who is buying the product or service is known as importer. Exporter of goods often requires the involvement of customer authorities. Further, after this, I will explain export promotion, the meaning of export promotion. Export promotion is used by many countries and regions to promote the goods and services from the companies abroad. This is good for the trade balance and overall economy. Export promotion can also have incentive programs designed to draw more companies into exporting. Under export promotion, there are many instruments which are known as instruments of export promotion. These are the instruments that are used differently to overall manage the import export facilities in any country. So the initiative taken by government of India for strengthening the export are multifaceted. It offers various incentives and facilities to the exporter to help them improve their competitiveness for the market foreign market. These schemes can be converted as instrument of export promotion, which are given below. Below are the points that are included in instruments of export promotions. First, it is export assistance and promotional measures. Second, import facilities under EPCG scheme. Third, duty exemption scheme. Fourth, duty remission scheme. Fifth, tax concession. Sixth, marketing assistance. Seventh, EPZ and SEZ. Third, role of export houses, and eighth, role of export houses. Ninth, trading houses and trading state trading organization. These are the points that are included in instruments of export promotion. Further, I would ask Vishakha to continue with export assistance and promotion measures.
Thank you, Vaishali. Good afternoon, sir, my classmates, and all my team members. So I have to present over export assistance and promotional measures. So a number of institutions have been set up by the government of India to promote exports. The export and import functions are looked after by the Ministry of Commerce, and the government formulates the export import policies and programs that give direction to the exports. Secondary, exempt policies aim at export assistance such as export credit, cash assistance, import replenishment, licensing, free trade zones, development of ports, quality control, and pre shipment inspection and guidance to Indian entrepreneurs to set up ventures abroad. Third, The primary responsibility of the Department of Commerce is to facilitate creation of an enabling environment and infrastructure for accelerated growth of external trade. The core functions include regulation, development, and promotion of India's international trade and commerce through formulation and implementation of appropriate trade and commercial policies, creation of an international standard infrastructure for rapid growth of trade. It is an integral part of the overall long term policy being pursued by the departments. And the department implements the following export promotion measures at micro level to embark upon the short term and long term problems faced by the trade and industry. First is assistance to states for developing export infrastructure and allied activities, that is called ASIDE scheme. Second, infrastructure for Fifth, Export Credit Guarantee Corporation of India Limited. Export Insurance Account. 7. India Brand Equity Foundation. 8. E-Trade Project. 9. Major initiatives undertaken by Export Promotion Councils. Here is the list. Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council, Electronics and Computer Software Export Promotion Council, Council for Leather Exports, Chemicals Export Promotion Council, Plastics Export Promotion Council, Chemicals and Allied Products Export Promotion Council, Shellac and Forest Products Export Promotion Council, Sports Goods and Export Promotion Council, Engineering Export Promotion Council, Services Export Promotion Council, Project Export Promotion Council of India, the Cashew Export Promotion Council of India, Indian Oil Sheets and Produce Export Promotion Council, Export Promotion Council for EOUs and SEZs, Pharmaceutical Export Promotion Council. So, what are the export promotion measures in India? Export promotion measures are public policy measures which are taken by the government of a country to potentially enhance the exporting activities and employment of that country. A good example of export promotion in India is the development of EPZs, FTZs, and SEZs. So, what are the objectives of export promotion measures in India? That is to compensate exporters for high domestic cost of production and to provide assistance to exporters in setting up a fully independent export units to increase relative profitability in domestic market as compared to the foreign market. Provide opportunity to achieve economics of scale and growth, to achieve export-led growth, to reduce the effect of domestic recession, a platform for production houses to sell surplus. So, following are the export promotion measures in India, that is EPZs, SEZs, and FTZs. So, what are export processing zones? So, it is an area set up to enhance commercial and industrial exports, encouraging economic growth through investment from foreign entities. Incentives such as tax exemptions and a barrier free environment are the main attractions of an EPZs. Secondly, SEZs, they are called the special economic zones. So, the special economic zone is an area in which the business and trade laws are different from the rest of the country, and they are located within a country's national borders, and their aims include increasing trade balance, employment, increased investment, job creation, and effective administration. And the last is called free trade zones, FTZs in short. So it is a class of a special economic zone. It is geographical area where goods may be imported, stored, handled, manufactured, or reconfigured and re-exported under specific customs regulation and generally not subject to customs duty. Now, I would like to invite Sanya for the further EPCZ scheme.
Good afternoon, sir. Me, Sania Khan, want to explain an EPCG schemes, that is Export Promotion Capital Goods Schemes. It can also be explained as duty-free or zero custom duties. The import of capital goods or machinery, you can say for the manufacture of products meant for export. The capital goods may be used for pre-production, and post-production stages of goods. This scheme is also known as Zero Duty EPCG scheme. Now, we are all aware of the heavy custom duties companies have to pay on the capital machinery imported for the production requirements, due to which businessmen usually do not import them and compromise with the quality of the goods. So, the higher the price of the goods of the machinery used to be, the higher the custom duty was. The government of India come up with a scheme where it was allowed to import capital goods at zero custom duty. EPCG schemes was introduced by the government of India is to facilitate the import of capital goods or machinery for producing high quality goods and services. The main benefits of EPCG schemes is importing capital goods with zero custom duties. Export promotion capital goods schemes. This allows import of capital goods, including spares, for pre-production, production, and post-production at zero duty, subject to an export obligation at six times of duty saved and capital goods imported under EPCG schemes. This is to be fulfilled in 6 years reckoned from authorization issue. Zero duty EPCG schemes allows import of capital goods for pre-production, production, including CKD or SKD, therefore, as well as computer software systems at zero custom duty, subject to an export obligations equivalent to six times of duty saved on capital goods imported under EPCG schemes. Concessional 3% duty EPCG schemes allows imports of capital goods for pre-production, production and production including 3% at 3% custom duties subject to an export obligation equivalent to 8 times of duty saved on capital goods imported under EPCG schemes to be fulfilled in 8 years. An EPCG authorization you can say can be issued for import of capital goods under scheme for project imports notified by the Central Board of Excise and Customs exemption notification to create modern infrastructure in retail sector. Concessional duty benefits under EPCG schemes shall be extended for import of capital goods required by retailers having minimum area of 1000 square meters. Such retail shall fulfill export obligation that is 8 times of duty in 8 years. Now, my group member Akash Soni will tell you about the next topic.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
वीडियो पे आइए आप लोग कमेंट वीडियो
Sir, oh,
वीडियो पे आइए
all right. Sir, exemption scheme. Sir, as we all know that, sir, duty exemption schemes and duty remission schemes were launched by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Sir, duty exemption schemes allows duty-free import of inputs that are required for the productions of export. Sir, in this post exports replacement of duty is provided on inputs that are used in the exports of products. Sir, there are different categories of duty exemption and remission schemes. Sir, in duty exemption schemes, sir, there are two. Sir, first duty free import authorization and second advance authorization. Sir, in duty remission scheme there are two. Sir, first duty drawback and second duty entitlement passbook. Some benefits also there is. Sir, first issuance of an advance license that uh, that allows duty-free import of inputs that are physical present in the exported product. So under the scheme, benefit will be provided for the energy, oil, fuel, etc. that are required to obtain the product. And some sir, there is some advanced license also, which was demand export, intermediate supplies, physical export. Sir, demand exports. So the license is issued to the main contractor that import product that are used for the manufacturing of goods. And second, sir, intermediate supplies. The license is given to the manufacturer to exporter for the import of product to manufacturers goods. And sir, last, physical export. The license is provided for the physical exports of goods to merchant exporter. Thanks a lot.
Sachin, continue.
Where is Satyam?
सचिन का है
गुरु में आप सत्यम उसने बोला था आदर्श ने आगे.
Sorry, sir. Now Satyam is represent their topic.
Good afternoon. My name is Satyam Sahu. My topic is duty drawback. The duty drawback scheme allows exporters to get a refund on customs duty paid on imported goods, where those goods are to be treated as processed or incorporated in other goods for the export or exported unused since importation. Duty drawback scheme was introduced by the Ministry of Finance as a rebate for duty chargeable on any imported material used in manufacturing or processing of in India and export. The central government is empowered to grant duty drawback under Section 24 and 25 of Custom Act 92. Under Section 74, in this section, any goods import from any other country and as it is export to any other country. This is coming under Section 74 and the duration is 2 years. If the product used in during 2 years, the rebate of that goods is minimized, not more than 3 months. So, sir, in this 95% rebate and 3 to 6 months 85% and 6 to 9 months 75%, 9 to 12 months 70%, and if the product store more than 18 months, there is no rebate, there is no duty drawback avail. Under Section 75, when any goods import from any other country and modified them and value addition, then the rate of drawback. Under Section 75, the rate of drawback, mode of manufacturing, input element necessary for drawback under Section 74. The goods on which drawback is claimed must have been previously imported. Second one is import duty must have been paid on these goods when they were imported. The goods should be entered for export within 2 years from the date of payment of the duty on their importation. The goods are identified as the goods imported. The goods must be re-export to any place of outside of India. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Anybody else?
Sir, Sachin Yadav. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Sir, my topic is
Present
duty
yourself.
drawback.
Yes, carry on.
Sir, financial benefit of duty expense and duty remains scheme. Sir, first point, sir. The main financial benefit of the scheme are mentioned below. Sir, first one. Under the duty expense scheme, duty-free import of input that are need for export product is allowed. Sir, under the duty remission scheme, post export replacement of the duty on input that are used for the export product in provided. Sir, follow up second point, sir, है the eligibility criteria that must be meet to available the benefit of the scheme are mentioned below. Sir, उसमें first point है sir, an advice license will be provide only to micro, small and medium enterprise, sir, MSME, sir, that involve in the export business. Other detail regarding the eligibility credit can be found on Directory General of Foreign Trade website, sir. सर इतना ही था सर, थैंक यू सर.
Anybody else?
वो सर
सर ग्रुप मेरा सर हो गया सर, मेरा 6 लोगों का ग्रुप था सर, सेकंड ग्रुप होगा सर अब.